Good day, gentlemen. I've been with my girlfriend for over 5.5 years, and I want to give you some maybe unconventional advice that nobody else has given you so far, because everyone else is too afraid to say this. The thing is this: everything in life is cause and effect. And even though people won't admit that about relationships, it is true. 0% of what happened in my relationship and how it's going right now is by accident. 0%. And I want to compress 5.5 years of brutally honest relationship lessons and truths into this one video for you. Point number 1. A relationship that is below your standard will ruin your self-image. It will ruin how you look at yourself. Because let's be honest, we respect a man who has a beautiful woman by his side and where you can see this woman is really into him. Simple, right? You respect that man. Just the same way that you respect him, and you don't respect a man that doesn't really have that. You look the same way at yourself. You perceive yourself in the same way. And so if you are in a relationship where, relationship just isn't going too well, or maybe you're even like the drastic example of you're not sexually able to fulfill your woman, that will play with your head, and you know it. And you also know that you would probably be happier if you were single, or not happier, but you would perceive your own value higher if you were single and you weren't in the situation that would show you over and over every single day that you're not good enough in that sense. You would be happier if you were single. You would perceive yourself, like your self-value, as higher if you were single, or if that relationship was going great and you were really fulfilled by that relationship and you could give your part in that relationship. And of course there are standards by society, and especially by porn, right, that are just too high. Now, you can cry about that. You can do something about your own mental perception of how good you should be, or you can learn to live up to those standards, because it's definitely possible. Now, I'm not saying to like, oh yeah, this is the standard, I'll just live up to that. You need to figure out what you actually want, 100%. And of course you should stop watching porn. I don't think I should even mention this on this channel. Like, if you're still watching porn, why are you on this channel? Honestly, if you're still jerking off 3 times a week, like, what the fuck are you doing here? I've been porn free for the last 5 years, over 5 years at this point. And I'm very happy that I am, because it doesn't play with my head anymore. But anyway, this is not the point I want to make here. The point I want to make here is, the reason you might not look at yourself as highly as you would want to look at yourself is because you're not that guy yet. It's because you're not that guy who can lead a relationship as good as he wants to lead it yet. Yet. You can become that guy. I wasn't that guy 5 years ago. There was a thing that happened 5 years ago at the start of my relationship where one of my friends, who I'm not friends with anymore, this is one of the reasons, he probably lost against me in beer pong, probably was drunk, something like that. I don't drink anymore, thankfully. But this guy comes up to me then and says like, bro, just randomly insults me, right? He was that kind of impulsive guy. Bro, you can't satisfy your girl sexually. And of course I defend myself, I stand up for myself. But man, it stung, because he was right. It stung. It stung deeply. Now lesson number 2 is from someone who coaches billionaires, not on relationships, on a different topic. I won't mention which, because then everyone knows who he is. But I recently got a chance to talk to this guy, and I already shared one of the lessons that I learned from him in another video. But this lesson here is, he said, relationships are a path to enlightenment. And he's a bit of a spiritual guy. I'm like kind of the brim to spirituality. I haven't really made up my mind, to be honest. But I instantly knew what he meant with this. Because in a relationship, and you know this as well, you have to face yourself over and over and over again. You have to overcome your ego. You have to overcome your old self. You have to reinvent yourself constantly. You have to learn to integrate your animalistic, your dark side. You have to learn to integrate both your masculine and your feminine side. And by the way, when I'm talking about masculine, feminine, I don't mean male, female gender roles. I mean masculine and feminine sexual energy. And most men lean more on that spectrum towards the masculine side, but all of us, I don't care if you're Andrew Tate, all of us also have a feminine side, and that is important. And if we try to push that feminine side out and not integrate it, we will fail. You can look at people like Tiger Woods. He tried this and he failed. It came crumbling down for him, right? We need to learn to integrate both, because both is a part of ourselves. And so you can choose to either grow together with your woman, or you can choose to let that relationship stagnate. That's your choice. And I think this is the reason why the members of our free community make such good progress, not just with their relationships, but in life in general, fitness-wise, business-wise, health-wise. They make such good progress that honestly I've seen few men make. And it is because they are in a relationship that supports them and that pushes them. And I'll talk more on that later on as well. But I don't think I would be where I am right now. In fact, I know I would not be where I am right now without my girl. Because the masculine grows by challenge, and she challenges me and she pushes me. From the start of my relationship until now, and until probably a lot longer into the future, one of these attributes that I loved about my girl was her willingness to grow together. Her willingness to trust me, to trust herself, and to trust the process and to do the work together to get to where we want to go. And this leads me straight into lesson number 3. Relationships are the most important thing in our lives. And I'll tell you why. We can be all masculine. We can say, oh no, purpose and work and business, that's more important. But at the end of the day, man, I've been on this purpose and entrepreneurship trip for a few years now. And it's fun, 100%. But how fun is it if you then go to bed alone at night? Because the last thing that we hear before we go to sleep are our own thoughts. And let's be honest, nobody tries to be single long term. Everyone wants to get into a relationship, and there's reasons for that. And the thing is this, man, relationships don't just add texture and zest to our life. They're also, specifically for more masculine people, the biggest motivator. Everyone who's in a relationship and who says, no, I just do this for purpose and for my clients and this and that. No. You want to have success for your woman. And I do as well. One of my clients, he gave this metaphor, this analogy, and he said, imagine 2 runners who have the goal of just getting to the finish line. It's not about who gets there quicker, it's about getting to the finish line. And the finish line is like 200 miles away, right? It's an ultra marathon, whatever. One of those carries something with them that is very, very important to them, that they need to deliver at the finish line. The other one doesn't have that. Who gets to that finish line? It's not about getting there quicker, it's about getting there. Only one of them can get there. And I guarantee you that guy who has something that who has a bigger meaning than just his own satisfaction of getting to the finish line, he will get there. Like, bro, I'll be honest, I don't need a lot of money. I don't. In the past, I've lived in a van, like traveling in a van for months. And I ate pasta with tomato sauce every single day. And I was happy. I'll be honest, like, it wasn't that bad. I could do that. But do I want my girl to do that? No. Do I want my future children to do that? No. Absolutely not. And this is one of those things that many people say of, like, when a man matures, he notices that becoming mature and becoming maturely masculine is all about taking responsibility for other people. That's what this is about, man. I hope you can understand this, because it will benefit you a lot. Lesson number 4. If you're ever acting out of fear in your relationship, then you've already lost. Could be fear of losing her, fear of her cheating on you, fear of her leaving you, fear of you not being good enough, fear of you ejaculating too quickly. Every time you act out of that mind state, you've already lost. And this is why, especially for more masculine people who lean more to the masculine side on this spectrum, it is so difficult and so vicious to have an anxious attachment, which I in the past did have that. I was very anxiously attached to my girl. She never gave me any reasons to think that she would leave me or to think that she would cheat on me. But this is just the way I was raised, right? The way my parents interacted with me, my friends interacted with me, and I'm not saying any of those are bad people. This is just how I became because of this, right? And now I worked against this, and I had to work against this. And I encourage you, every single one of you who's acting out of fear, out of insecurity in your relationship, you have to do something about it. Because if you don't, it will lead to degeneracy, it will lead to some red pill lifestyle, it will lead to immaturity, and it will not lead to fulfillment. Because you can do good things while acting out of fear, 100% you can. But your woman will notice that you do it out of fear, out of insecurity, not out of love. And it will never have the same impact. So you have to overcome this. And to be honest, you have to overcome your fear of that fear. What I mean by that is I had this fear of her leaving me, her seeing me as weak, her seeing me as not masculine because I was very skinny. I got bullied as a teenager for 8 years straight, right? All this kind of stuff. At the end of the day, I had to overcome my fear of going to her and telling her, hey, I noticed I have this anxious attachment and I can do a lot about that by myself, but I can't solve it completely by myself. I want to take this relationship to the next level. I want to take this deeper. And I need your help with this, because attachment needs two people. Side lesson here. Attachment, you can't solve an insecure attachment, whether anxious or avoidant or anxiously avoidant. You can't solve it. You can't become more secure without the help of the person you are insecurely attached to. So I needed her help. I needed a secure sense of love from her. And so I told her with straight direction. I didn't whine, I didn't complain about anything. I just told her, I want to take this relationship deeper. I hope you do as well. If you do, please help me. And she did. And I mean, if she wouldn't have done that, then I shouldn't have been in that relationship in the first place. Simple as that. Overcome your fears. Lesson number 5. If she's holding you back instead of pushing you forward to achieve your goals, then that is your fault. And then people say on YouTube, oh yeah, you need to set boundaries. What the fuck does that mean? Do you know what to do when I tell you set boundaries? No, you don't. So let me break it down for you. Let me explain this for you. There's 2 things here that you need to do. First of all, you need to realize that every time you, if you are the more masculine person in that relationship, meaning the person with more direction, with more straightforward thinking in that sense, right? If you are that person, then you can't make an inauthentic decision. You need to make the decision that you authentically want to make, because if you don't, you will resent her and you will resent yourself. Let's say you want to do X, she wants to do Y, and just for the sake of it, to like kind of please her, you go with her decision, right? What happens is, no matter whether she's right or wrong, you resent her and you resent yourself. If she's right, you resent her because fuck, she was right? And you were wrong, but you could have made a mistake and learned from it. So you resent yourself as well. Or she's wrong, which of course then you resent her because she was wrong, and you resent yourself because, yeah man, you could have stood up for yourself and made the right decision, and you knew what decision to make. That's the first thing. The second thing, if she's holding you back, that is most likely because she doesn't trust you enough to test you lovingly. So she either, Red Pill talks about this testing, right? Shit testing. Of the feminine will test the masculine. I call those tests challenges because that's what they are. The feminine challenges the man, or the feminine challenges the masculine, so the masculine can grow. Because the masculine grows by challenge, right? The thing is this. If she tests you too much, she tests you in toxic or vicious ways, that's because she doesn't trust you enough to test you maturely. Or she doesn't trust you enough, and so she doesn't test you at all. Which then leads to you stagnating as a man. It leads to you stagnating completely. And so what you need, just like in the gym, you need the right amount of weight on a bench press, right? If you want to make progress, you can't just start and bench press 100 kilograms. That probably doesn't work for most people, right? But if you just bench press the bar for months, you're also not going to make progress. You need the right amount of challenge. And now to achieve this state where she trusts you so much that she tests you in the right way, what you need to do is you need to be in your mature masculine. Throw all immaturity, all fear, all insecurity out of the window. Solve it. Deal with those issues. If you need your help, if you need her help, ask her for help. If you don't, do the work yourself. But throw all of that out of the window. Become a mature masculine guy. Because then you make room for her mature feminine. And her mature feminine will test you. But she will test you in loving ways and in ways that are correct and right for you, to a point where you can grow from it. Lesson number 6. This is the most important lesson. I always leave the most important lessons in these videos till the end, because I only want the people who are actually committed, who are watching these videos with full presence. I want those to get the best lessons, not the guy who watches 1 minute of this video and then clicks off to watch a Mr. Beast video. I don't even want those to get the good lessons. Lesson number 6, listen up. This is very, very important, because most men make this mistake every single day. Lesson number 6 is time will not change anything for the better. A business mentor recently shifted my paradigm completely on this stuff, because all of us think, right, oh, time will heal everything, right? Just let some time pass and it will be good. I hope you can hear me. There's a helicopter in the back. Should work. What he told me is, people who tell you you just need more time, then it will work out. People who tell you this, they tell you this because they don't have any better advice to give to you on how you can achieve that result that you want quicker. They don't know what to say to you. They don't have any better advice, so they tell you, just let some time pass. It will heal. It will work out. You just need to do this longer, then you'll get the success you want. How would that happen? How would you make more progress by doing something that already didn't work and just doing more of it? Doesn't make sense. Or by not doing anything, but just waiting. How would that make sense? The thing is this, the universe tends towards entropy. Like the actual universe, I'm not talking about spiritual universe here, right? The universe tends towards entropy, which is disorder. And to organize something, you can watch this in your own room. The moment you don't organize your room, after 2 weeks it looks like a hellhole. It's that simple. Hellhole, not hellhole. Maybe some people thought I said hellhole. What the fuck? What would that even be? I'm German, by the way, if my pronunciation isn't perfect. But hellhole, I think that's a word. Now, I'll give you a story that will really drive this point home for you and make sure you actually internalize this point so you can actually implement it and improve your relationship. A couple of years ago, my girl gets off birth control because it played with her hormones, it played with her emotions, and she just didn't feel good because, I mean, it's unnatural, right? How would a young woman benefit off of taking hormones that are not her own hormones? Like, how would that work, right? So she gets off, and then we noticed how bad this stuff actually was for her. Because she lost her period for 8 months straight. Didn't get her period. And not only that, her body went into complete shutdown mode sexually. She didn't have a sex drive for much longer than 8 months, actually. And yeah, her body completely shut down. Her body was like, something's going wrong here. We will shut everything down, because if this person gets pregnant right now, it's probably not gonna help, right? Simple as that. Our bodies still function with evolutionary biology. Simple as that, right? I have a beard hair in my nose. So sorry, brother. Anyway, I could have, in that situation, sat around and done nothing. And honestly, in that situation, time would have probably fixed that issue after years, probably, right? But instead what I did, and I mean, it's her body, how much influence do I have on that? Well, that's what I figured out, right? I took full responsibility for everything that I could control, and I did research on this stuff. I put time, effort, and even money into actually figuring out how much can what I do affect her hormones and get her hormones to a healthy level again, and how do we build enough trust again to start having sex again, right? Because during that period, you can imagine, we had very little and very bad sex, sometimes no sex for months, because it just wasn't the right thing to do there. But how do we start having sex again? How do we build that trust again? And how do we go deeper again? Brother, what you need to realize is being passive will not achieve anything. It will not do shit. Nothing changes by continuing to live the same life just for longer. Now, if you consider yourself a hard-working, determined, ambitious man, and you want to build this inspiring, fulfilling relationship that pushes you and that supports you and that helps you reach your goals, then the easiest and quickest way to achieve that and to get the knowledge to build such a relationship is to join our free community, because it is built specifically for ambitious men. And I built this community because society, the education system, and our parents failed to teach us these crucial life skills of becoming a deep lover. Now, in this community, there's over 130 men in there who learn from me personally on how to build a more deep and fulfilling relationship, and they also help each other out when someone has a question. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, there's a link in the description that you can click right now and you can sign up to the community. It takes 1 minute to sign up. It's completely free. You can leave at any time if you want to, but nobody ever does. And yeah, I'll see you in there, and I'm excited to talk to you there.